Well, then yesterday there was a development in Parliament. The Interior Minister, Honorable Muntaka Mohammed, decided to put in an application for the minority leader to be referred to the Privileges Committee because of a statement he made on the floor of Parliament on Friday, on Tuesday, I beg your pardon. No, the State of the Nation address was on Friday. So on Friday, now let's listen to what Honorable Afenyo Markin said, which clearly irked the Interior Minister and, you know, decided to refer him to the Privileges Committee yesterday.
Mr. Speaker, we are happy they are showing a picture, trying to embarrass the former finance minister. We've seen, but very soon, let me assure you that somebody, a senior appointee who is in charge of this TribeNet, would go to jail. So the one behind TribeNet, the one who introduced TribeNet to the ministry, who is chopping money, Mr. Speaker, we are happy you are showing. Very soon we'll bring a picture. Then you will see the one in charge of TribeNet duping innocent Ghanaians, duping their unemployed youths. There are many youth who are looking for jobs, and this TribeNet, with the connivance of an appointee of government, she will be exposed. So you continue with Kenoforiata. Soon and very soon it will be your turn. Mr. Speaker, I will conclude by saying that this side of the House, we are ready today to debate on this SONA. And by Monday, the true SONA will be revealed by the minority.
So TribeNet, you had Honorable Afenyo Markin refer to as an IT platform or software that is being used in the recruitment process. So, of course, is a platform that has harmonized the entire recruitment process of the security services. So you talk about the police, you talk about the prison service and the fire service. All right. So it's a platform that is being used. And Honorable Afenyo Markin seems to be alleging that a member of the government is the one who is leading this. And of course, he made some very strong statement about people being duped and all of that. And the Interior Minister did not take that lightly at all. He says, well, they are, false allegations which he's making. And you believe that TribeNet was duly contracted to do a job and they were contracted fairly. There was no underdealings whatsoever. Now, let's listen to the Interior Minister when he made that presentation in Parliament yesterday. And Honorable Afenyo Markin himself said he's ready. He's ready for the matter to be addressed in public before the Privileges Committee, and he will prove his allegations.
Mr. Speaker, it is important to note that in the past, recruitment processes were done individually by the security services. It is also interesting to note that in 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2021, the very company that the minority leader was accusing, TribeNet Limited, undertook similar services for the Ghana Prison Service, Ghana Immigration Service, and the Ghana National Fire Service under the same business model implemented for the current 2025-2026 recruitment system. These processes, which were previously done in silos at the agency level, have now been harmonized and digitalized under the current system to achieve, among other objectives, the prevention of vacancy hijacking, reduction in recruitment operational costs, and empowering the agencies to own the recruitment portal after a scheduled number of cycles. Mr. Speaker, the approach for the ongoing security service recruitment was done based on the 2024 NDC manifesto and recommendation from the report of the review committee on the 2024 recruitment enlistment into the security services during the last administration. Mr. Speaker, the 2024 NDC manifesto and the security and public safety promise a merit-based, transparent, and decentralized recruitment and promotion for all security agencies. Report from the review committee also stated the following, Mr. Speaker, that the ministry must ensure that each agency under its supervision establishes a recruitment and enlistment board The composition of such a board must include the Minister of Interior, head of HR, or its representative. This is envisaged to strengthen the ministry's oversight responsibility. All the agencies under the ministry must ensure that their recruitment and enlistment procedures are well documented and strictly adhered to. Mr. Speaker, based on similar procurement conditions under which previous recruitment were conducted,
yes.
A restrictive...
Honourable Minister, yes, the whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the minister responsible for Interior on his feet.
Order 67, at the time, our own standing orders have made space for complaint of contempt. And I made reference to Order 31. And Order 31, Mr. Speaker, I read and I said that it quotes, any of the following acts or conduct constitute contempt of Parliament or breach of parliamentary privileges. And I made reference to 31E, where it says, and I quote, Mr. Speaker, any act or conduct calculated or intended to deceive Parliament or a committee of Parliament constitute contempt. F, submission of false, perverted, misleading, distorted, fabricated, or scandalous statement in Parliament or before a committee of Parliament is contemptuous. And Mr. Speaker, and I made reference to on Friday during the State of the Nation address, the minority leader got up here. Even before then, Mr. Speaker, if you recollect, you were in the chair on Thursday when he started this allegation. I took the opportunity on the floor to correct him and show him and even encourage him that if he wanted information, he could write and I'll furnish him with all the details. He decided to take advantage of the State of the Nation when the whole world was listening to us to say categorically that the current internal security recruitment is scandalous. There's corruption looming. People will go to prison. He said it on this floor. And I'm saying that, Mr. Speaker, based on our standing order 31, E and F, that is contemptuous. And I'm saying that let's give him an opportunity to go to privileges where you have all the ample time and opportunity to provide all his allegations so that we'll meet him there with our facts. So, Mr. Speaker, that is what I'm referring, that we are having too many of such things coming from somebody like the minority leader, and the time for him to prove his allegation is here. And the best place to do that, Mr. Speaker, is at the privileges, because what he did on Friday at the Sona was obviously contemptuous by every standard if you measure it to Article what you call Standing Order 31. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, that an opportunity will be given him at privileges to prove his allegation. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether the respected Minister of Interior really wants to pursue this matter because you and I know what we know. If however, Mr. Speaker, if however, there is no need for us to discuss this matter, Mr. Speaker, as you said, let the referral be made. Let there be a public hearing. Let Afenyo Markin, who these days is seen as perhaps, according to the allegation, I'm saying something which is untruthful and all that, and because of that, it is a breach of parliamentary privilege. Mr. Speaker, you have the wisdom to exercise a discretion. That is entirely in your hands. I will avail myself should you exercise that discretion. to a public hearing, and then the matter can be brought to a peaceful rest.
So that's the Minority Leader Afenyo Markin. Well, if in fact the First Deputy Speaker, Bernard Ahiafo, did refer him to the Privileges Committee, what that means is that is now the second issue that he has to answer to at the Privileges Committee. There's one outstanding one. It appears that that has not been resolved yet. And there is this, which has also come up. And we're not sure how this will be resolved. Mr. Afimoni, I'm not sure what you make of all of this that's happening in Parliament. Does this augur well for us, though?
This is a familiar spectacle in Parliament. People go to Parliament, ventilate their concerns, articulate their views, score as many political points as possible. And this is what an opposition leader is supposed to do. Put the ruling government on its toes. Hold their feet to the fire of accountability. And this is what Afenyo Markin is famed for. But I said that he is a man of substance. He's also a reputable lawyer. And I believe he will weigh every word before he will utter them. He made a categorical statement that monies are being chopped, to quote him, TribeNet has created a net to shortchange the government. And then people are being recruited through unauthorized means and all that. And monies are going to wrong hands at the expense of the state, impliedly, this is what he said. And then he and the minister know what they know, again, to quote him. And this particular statement is pregnant with a lot of interpretations. So it will only take the Privilege Committee to establish the...
So you will expect this to go through, like it's true, indeed, exactly, the Privilege Committee should sit. This should be looked at.
It's premature to fault Afenyo Markin.
Afenyo Markin had mentioned that, look, he was even exploring opportunity for it to be discussed. To be discussed in conclave.
Yes.
All right, but it appears that the conclusion of the matter is to go to Privilege Committee.
Yes. So that's where it should go. And as I said, I'm reluctant to fault him. At the same time, who are we to also find TribeNet and all the beyond TribeNet guilty? He was very categorical that a lady, and a lady was behind this TribeNet deal. Again, it's up to the Privilege Committee to establish the facts and nothing but the fact. But we also worry. But matters we go to the Privilege Committee, most of it do not end anywhere. We have examples, copious examples of issues we go to the Privilege Committee. Even MPs who are shown the full glare of the nation, misbehaving, taking the law into their hands, causing mayhem, chaos. Nothing happens. So one is disinclined to believe that something good will come out of the Privilege Committee. But again, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. And it's up to the media. Please sharpen our eyes. We should sharpen our eyes of what will happen in the Privilege Committee. If nobody should make any attempt to shield even the outcome of these investigations. We should fish the outcome out and feed the public, because we have a responsibility. The public have the right to know. And we also enjoined by our responsibility as journalists. In the name of accountable journalism, we should fish out what happens, the conclusion of the investigations, and then feed the public accordingly, for the public to make their own judgment.
Maybe you soon become an honorable. You soon become an honorable. Yeah, you soon become an honorable. You get the concern. This is the second time your leader has been sent to the Privileges Committee. And the allegations which he makes, because one of the things I picked from the Interior Minister's submission on the floor of Parliament is that the company is referring to as chopping money. Apparently, they have even worked with this government before. You mentioned that they did some work for the security services, similar work, the Interior Minister mentioned, from 2016, 17, 18, 19, even to 2021. And I'm just curious what the minority leader has at the moment, which will push him to make, because you heard what he said at Sona, those are very wild allegations.
Yes, especially in the presence of His Excellency the President. It's in there. And I know my leader, knowing who he is. And I agree with President that is a man of valor. And he wouldn't just speak if he's not stepping on any stone. So I'm inclined to be. And if you heard him, he told the Interior Minister, you know what I know. Okay? So, and you see, some of the things that happens, people are inclined, especially sometimes the people who are at the heart of the matter, inform some of these leaders. Okay? They may not be happy with some of the processes, they may not be happy with some of the outcomes or some of the things they are being compelled to do as a result of being given that contract or responsibility, okay? So sometimes they confide in some of these leaders, especially those on the other side. If you are in the media, you know Haptel, always in the news, always. I thought Haptel was never going to be working under this government. But Haptel is working. Good news. You get it. So they've carved a niche for themselves. But if you do the politics with it, and the politics is over, the reality then is confronted that that is the agency that can deliver what you want. You get it. And so let's then engage them. Now, the minority leader says something untoward is happening in the recruitment process. The minister is saying it's because they've now done synchronization of the processes. Instead of doing the recruitment in silos, they've brought them together, and TribeNet is handling it, and to them, the process is just transparent, open, and fine. Markins thinks otherwise. And Markins is also throwing a challenge to the speaker that he is ready to appear before the Privileges Committee, but it should be a public hearing. You get it. That is, and I thought that was a good call because of what President Afenyo said. But
is this one you want to dominate the news cycle at this time? To dominate the headlines?
It's important, you see, especially.
You would like to see your minority leader before the Privileges Committee being hauled, being interrogated?
You see, it's a serious matter. That's what I'm saying. The president of the land was sitting there. Okay? That gives it currency and weight. The world is watching. The what? The president is there, the minority leader is making such serious allegations, and then we're going to sweep it under the carpet? No. Let's go into it. Let's see what he knows that the minister knows that the rest of us don't know. Okay? Which is, okay, against the public good. That is very important. But especially when recruitment processes is led to the loss of about 6 lives in the last military, you understand that. And people feel they are qualified. In fact, I heard the minister in his statement saying they will let people who have qualified be recruited. You get it? And that is what we all want. Okay? If there's evidence by the minority leader that the process is being shortchanged and people who are not qualified are being the ones that are being recruited into our security services, then there's a challenge. Let's get to know what Markins knows and what Muntaka knows, honorables, that the rest of us, including President Afenyo, doesn't know.
But the Interior Minister says the company that you are alleging to have chopped some money, that very company worked for your government.
Yes. That's not a problem as well. Yes, it could have worked for the previous government. Was it chopping money in the process? If you had evidence and they call the minority leader before the Privileges Committee, you can also make a submission and a request and be brought before them that yes, and that between 2017, in fact, he even started from 2016. So between 2016 up to 2021, okay, there's evidence that yes, this been their modus operandi. Okay, they chop money in the process and all that. Okay, that's why I started by adding Haptel. You get it? That we accuse these companies needlessly. Okay, then at the end of the day, you realize you don't have a choice but to engage them. Okay, so if there's evidence that indeed from that time there's been wrongdoing on the blind side of the rest of us, let's get to the Privileges Committee and expose them so that Ghana will be the gainer for this. Call.
Well, interesting. We'll have to wrap it up here now. Mr. Afenyo, you've got some final thoughts you want to share with us? We'll wrap it up.
Ghana is going through challenging times, and it calls for vigilance on the part of our Ghanaians, diligence on the part of politicians who are alleged, and then on the part of journalists. This is a time for us to survey the environment. This is a time for us to be as professional as possible.
Especially with the issues happening in the Middle East.
Yes, what
because best we can do.
Many Ghanaians are at sea. They can't make head or tail of what's happening. So by virtue of our profession, we ought to understand the issues, follow the issues, humanize these issues. To an understanding of very Ghanaians so that they can make their informed choices.
Awesome. Mr. George, final words?
Yeah, before I think I'm with President, but one of the disclaimers that you read, I can Vicky Wright really extricate herself from the MPP. She wants to be professional. I don't
brought the MPP from Baumia's campaign.
Baumia is now
MPP, the face of the leader and the face of the MPP.
But not all MPP supporters are on the train.
Oh no, you see, I didn't support Dr. Baumia in this primaries. I was with him the other one. This one, I wasn't. But it doesn't make me an exclusion of the, you know, I'm part of the MPP communications. I'm part of the vision to get Baumia elected as president. You get it? You may disagree that, okay, why you didn't believe in him, but the elections is over. Okay, per the Constitution, we need to rally behind the one chosen and let's go. And Vicky Bright, you know, is one respected woman of the MPP stock. You know, I know, I've met her here last time, and she wants to be as professional as possible. Yeah, but it's going to take a transition time. Some of us cannot just let her go like that. We'll rope her in for some time, especially when Dr. Baumia, the leader of the MPP, is going to greet the former leader, former president, and she was there. He will capture you.
All right. Well,
that's what the media does best.
All right. George, thank you very much. Mr. Afenyo, thank you very much for coming. And also to you for watching. Really appreciate your time. And let me just also tell you about this, because the AM show, of course, we are supported by quite a number of companies, and they do help us. Shield Silicon Paint from Azar Group, they support us every now and then. Then Syntex Pipes are also massive supporters of us. And of course, Time Herbal Mixture also is supporting us. Then this March, Lady Sam hosts her 7th International Women's Day Conference, and it's included her 2026, an exclusive invite-only event spotlighting women's voices, rights, and leadership, which is in conjunction with the second Shimai Star Influential Awards, where leaders shine. The event is taking place on Thursday, the 5th of March, from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. The theme is Include Her, Her Rights, Her Voice, Our Action. The event features an inspiring lineup of speakers, including Patience Osekre, Sonia Ibrahim, and other distinguished voices. And the Include Her conference is powered by Shimai Solutions 2026 partners, include Silverbird Cinema, Accra, Global Media Alliance, Perception Management International, African Women's Voices, Gold Coast Restaurant and Lounge, IBY Services, International Relations and Diplomacy Network Ghana. We've got the Ghana webhosting.com, Supreme Healthcare Management Services, High Priest Studios and Lightning, BNFT, the Multimedia Group, and Cape May Properties. Okay, Include Her, because women deserve to be seen, heard, and included. So that's it for our news review. The show will continue very shortly. Please stay with us.